Alright, let's go over this. So hopefully you added a 0. X squared what?
Plus
0x minus 64. Class A times C?
Negative 64.
B value?
0.
Two numbers that multiply.
Negative 64 and 0. Oh, wait, never mind. Negative 8.
So these are our two answers. Raise your hand if you got that. Notice that there is no power of 3, so you're not going to use the SOAP that we talked about the previous days. Okay. Now, these are called higher degrees. Everyone say higher degrees. Class, what's half of 2? 1. This kind of tells you that then you can use the X box for factoring. Now remember the trick. I don't need the box because so when A is equal to 1, like in this problem, you just need the X. If A is greater than 1, like a 2, 3 or something, then you have to use the box. It would not be wrong if you use both the X and the box for this problem, but I'm just trying to show you do less work. Okay? Now I will show you one more shortcut, and you need to know when to apply it. The student who's like, okay, I haven't been paying attention, let me learn the shortcut, then they misapply the shortcut for everything else and they get everything wrong because they don't know how to do it. Trust me. They call this the difference of squares. If you recognize, if you could take the square of both sides, the square root of x is x and x, the square root of 64 is an 8 and 8, and the difference in squares, one has to be plus, one has to be minus. This is a very unique circumstance. Some of you will get tricked once I put a plus sign or I put a plus 64x, right? And then you still try to do this trick and it doesn't work. Let's go ahead and try this one over here. Class, tell me how to write this with the 0. Minus 16. Okay, this 0 here is a 0x squared. Because class, what's 0 times anything? 0. Class, what's half of 4? 2. That tells us that you can use the dx method. Class, A times C? B value? What are your two numbers? Okay, now be careful as you write this out. So if I put a plus 4 and a minus 4, this is going to be an x squared. The reason why it's an x squared and not an x, because if this was just an x, class, what's x times x? Is it x to the 4th? No. X squared times x squared would give you x to the 4th. Okay. Put your finger on the part that is not done. Hopefully you recognize that this one is not done and you can still factor, right? Class, A times C? Remember, if you need to rewrite it, you can. A times C is negative 4. B value is 0. Two numbers that multiply to be negative 4. Those two add to be 0. So my answer is going to be x squared plus 4. And then this here in orange became x plus 2, x minus 2. So that box right there, pay attention, you might have to factor again. Okay? Students will always ask this question, when do I know when I need to stop factoring? You will know based on your math knowledge and you're able to discern. This would be prime. X squared plus 0x. You can make an x method and you realize it doesn't work. Does that make sense? So two different problems, different methods. Notice in these problems I could use the x method. I'm not using the sum or difference of cubes because I don't see the power of 3.